Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our last session of inspirational webinars, this time focusing on water and on the trends on what's happening in the industry and what are the challenges nowadays. And for this, we have today with us Mr. Ghimire to give us an insight into the industry.
Let me make sure I'm not mute. Can you hear me?
We can hear you and we can also see the presentation.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sandy. And thank you for the invitation. Thank you for everybody coming out here and giving your time and listening to all of this, which may or may not make sense, but let's hope with all the great initiative you guys are doing, this will add some value. Once again, my name is Raj. I work at PFP Industries. I primarily lead a water division out there for the last 7 or 8 years. For the last 8 years, I've been working in the oil and gas water sector. I did my PhD from University of Nevada, Reno in chemistry, and recently did my MBA from UCLA Anderson School of Management. Everybody asks me like why I live in Texas and work in Texas primarily. So ask me, why did I go to California to do my MBA? And I told them, hey, I'm the good guy in the oil and gas. That's why I come to California. So anyway, this was a dry joke. I don't think anybody got it, but on my first slide, I want to show you some logos. And if you're a student or if you're one of the participants in this group or competition, I want to think about what these logos mean to you or what these logos represent. Because the top two logos are for the education sector. The bottom logos, if you look, they are all the companies that I'm currently involved with. For me, these are the brand. So whenever we are doing something, especially an initiative like this, I want all of you, especially the student, start thinking about what their brand is and how can they brand themselves, because this is very, very critical. Just to give an example, if we see a logo of a Google or Amazon or Facebook or WhatsApp, we don't need to know them, they are Google or anything like that. We just automatically connect with them. Same with the logo and the branding. So be very conscious about your brand, whatever your brand is. Now, moving from the brand, I have a very simple question, and I would love to hear some answers from you guys, whether in the chat or you can feel free to let me know. What does water mean to you? And if you are from a different group, if you are from agriculture, health, environment, or energy, just replace water with that and just tell me, what does environment mean to you, or what does health mean to you? What does energy mean to you? Anybody? Okay, let me rephrase this question in a different way. So why are you interested in this initiative? Okay, what is your motivation? I see a chat. Okay, so Monica said life. Mohammed said S2O. Okay, so the reason I'm asking this question is that everything we do in life, there is a reason, there is a motivation, there is a why. So be very conscious, what is your why for this initiative? Whatever project you are trying to do, what is your why? Why it is important to you? What difference are you trying to make? What matters to you? So always trying to find a why in this initiative. And to give you an example, I will show you what water means to me. Right now, water is my livelihood. So this is a bread and butter to me, okay? But moreover, if you look at this logo, Pro Water, I hope you can see it. Once again, I'm trying to emphasize a brand out here. That's the brand. That's the water company that I created within PFP Industries, or that we created. Our vision, our logo was to convert this oil and gas industry wastewater into a circular economy. That was our why. That was our vision. That was the problem that we were going to solve. That is the value that we are going to add to this industry, where produce and flow back, or a dirty water, wastewater, was becoming a major issue, major challenge. So there was a dire need for it. So we wanted to create a circular economy. How are we going to do that? ProWater will design several water treatment technologies, whether they are chemical, mechanical, all of it, and help that water to clean the dirty water so that they can be repurposed for several applications. We often hear the term reuse and recycle, but I want to emphasize on a term called repurpose because all of our resources, if we think we can repurpose into some other application. So innovation is not only about creating new thing or new idea. Innovation is also about repurposing your existing product, existing idea into a new application or for a new application. That's innovation too. So the way Pro Water or the way we want to do this is by not only addressing the need in the oil and gas industry, but we can use that dirty water repurpose for different application in the oil and gas industry, at the same time for different industries in industrial, agriculture, mining. Okay, now let's think this in the term of the smart city that we are trying to create or build out there. So this circular economy concept will be very critical for water, energy, environment, health, agriculture, everything, because we can repurpose our resources effectively for different applications. So this is what I want the groups to think about when they are thinking of their ideas, like have a brand, have a why you are trying to do this, what are you trying to solve, at the same time, who is your customers. So in this logo, you can see there are different market segments I have already identified because these are the market segment. Here I will find people or customers who's going to pay for my services. So think all of that when you are doing this. So that was the why for my water. Now, feel free to stop me if you guys have any questions. And I have a tendency to talk fast, so let me know if I need to slow down. Okay. Now the next slide is gonna be completely random slide, and don't hate me for this, but looks like my slide. Okay, can you see my slide? Yeah. Okay. Now we talked about the branding. We talked about our why we are trying to do this, and we also talked about the market segment and the solutions that we can provide. But end of the day, somebody has to pay for it. Okay, somebody has to pay for it. Otherwise, no idea will survive in this market. So when you see this slide, I want you to tell me what do you guys see. Anything. There is no right or wrong answer into this. What do you see in this slide?
You can either speak up or you can write the answer in the chat.
Let me help you. I'll tell you what my wife sees it. The first thing that my wife sees is my monthly water bill. Was my latest water bill from October. Okay, so and that after seeing that, tell me that day lunch or dinner won't be very good for me. That's a very high water bill. So some of us sees the dollar value into it, right? Anthony says hasn't paid the bill. That's that's not entirely true. So see, these days these customers are so good at it, so smart. They will show you your current bill, and they will also show you if you don't pay your bill, how much it is going to be at the end of the month. So that final number, Anthony, is that 15% fine they will charge me if I don't pay my bill on time. Okay, but that's a good reason. So definitely, so when my wife says this bill, the first thing she says is that why is my our water bill so high? And looking at this water bill, I'll tell you, our town will never go bankrupt. If I'm paying, we just live two of us, me and my wife, and we're paying close to $200 per month for our water bill. That's a lot for a house, right? And then I have to explain to my wife, no, honey, look, this is the volume of water that I'm using. That is at the top, you'll see the meter code. So they are tracking it. They are tracking the volume that I used before and this month. And I say, look, this is the different volume every month. They are trying to show me data as well. See, these days they have become so good. They are not only trying to tell me that they are not charging this randomly. Of course, there is a price per gallon attached to it, right? They are also telling me how much I'm using it every month. So this same principle, when we're thinking about a smart city, applies with whatever idea that you are generating into it. Because remember, the places where customers will pay for water is, of course, for daily consumption. That is the volume of water you are using it. how to tracking of water. The people who make the water, this meter has nothing to do with water. The people who are making the software has nothing to do with water. So there are so many areas within the water industry to innovate and to come up with ideas to make this an efficient system. How? By managing the flow of water, by tracking the flow of water, by monitoring the quality of water, which you cannot do it out here based on this bill. But that's another area. If you're a group and you're thinking of how you can add value to the smart cities, is by monitoring the quality of the water. To do that, you have to design smart sensors and things like that. You have to have a right software. At the same time, what this bill does not tell us is where is this water coming from. Of course, it has to come through some sort of a pipe, right? So maintaining that infrastructure is going to critical. Now, this bill tells me how much of volume of water I have used. It does not tell me whether I have used all that volume of water or half of that is leaking through my sprinkler system. So that's where I spend every month enough money with my sprinkler system just to make sure I'm not wasting any resources. So the leak detection is another area in the smart cities. It's going to be very, very critical when you are designing the system. And when you're talking about infrastructure and pipe, maintaining the integrity of the pipe, like if the pipe corrodes, corrosion, erosion, and things like that, that's where you can be creative and come up with ideas. At the same time, conserving energy. Any type of movement needs energy. Moving this huge volume of water from one location to another, in our case, most probably from one of the sea to the RO desalination plant, and from the RO desalination plant to the different sectors within the smart cities, that takes a lot of energy as well. So these are the different areas where I think you guys can be creative and come up with ideas how to lower your personal water bill and how to lower your customers' water bill so that they will be happy to pay this every month, whether it's by need or by force, because we have to pay this bill. If we can provide a solution that adds value, and that's very critical, our customer will have no choice but to pay for it. And that's only where your innovation gonna survive. Okay. So give me a minute. My boss is calling me, so I just have to tell him that I'll call him back. So, anyway, uh, if you guys have any questions, feel free to stop me. Now, after I showed this water bill and bored you to the death of my water bill, let me give you some examples what's happening in terms of innovation in the water industry when it comes to smart cities. And then all I did was Google it. I Googled the 5 top water management startup and impacting smart cities, and this is what the Google gave me. Okay, I'm I have very little knowledge about any of these water startups. If you look at the bottom, it says there are 589 water management startups disrupting smart cities. So let's not think that we are the first into anything. There are many smart people all around the world working on several problems. But at the same time, everybody has a niche, everybody has a value. And if you look at this slide, you can see they are geographically very, very diverse. They are all over the world, right? At the same time, I want to focus on their name and their branding. Don't forget, look at Water FX, Fluid. They all have a very elegant design. This is their branding once again. So just pay attention that what these startups are doing it. Now, let me show you some example of this startup. Take it to their website. Hopefully it will work. Just to give you an example, some of the ways that maybe these are some of the things that you guys are already thinking of, and you might be able to go to their website or get some ideas how you can differentiate what they are doing it, or even replicate sometimes. It does not hurt to do that if you can do it more efficiently and add values to it. So I will try to open this slide and hopefully it works. Uh, the first one is fluid water meter. Uh, Now it's opening in my computer. I don't know whether you can see this or not. Can you see it, Sandy?
No, we cannot see it.
Okay, so anyway, if you guys, you can distribute this presentation later on to the student groups, Sandy, if you want. But my point is that, let me go back to my presentation, which I lost. My point is that these are some of the examples of some of the water startups that are disrupting the smart cities. And the fluid meter, they design smart fluid system where it will able to track your water flow and things like that. There is a list out that talks about treating water. They design water treatment system where you can literally use those to treat your water so that your water quality is good. The one that I really like, it's not because it's based in US, and this is not listed in the top five, the last management. It might be listed, but this is not in the top five, is the Pluto Shift. If you look into Pluto Shift website, and I highly recommend every water group to go and look into it, what they are doing is very, very similar to how you can efficiently manage all different types of water resources and save energy, save money, and utilize your water very, very efficiently. So this is a good example, and this is a technology based startup. This has nothing to do with treating water. They are not providing any product in terms of treatment, monitoring, anything like that. They are managing data. All they are doing is managing data efficiently and providing that. And I think one of the group, uh, me and the Boys Plus Omaha, based on a very little blurb that I read, they are trying to do very, very similar thing. So I would highly recommend you guys to go and check some of these websites and get some ideas what these guys are doing uh, in this water field for the smart cities. Yeah. Uh, and then the last one, as I said, make sure think about your brand, think why you are doing it, what is the value proposition you are bringing it, what problem you are solving it, and to whom. Uh, and then who are you gonna involve in your team? Who is the right person to work with you? Those are some of the critical things when you are presenting this presentation and ideas for both the presentation and the videos. I'd love to answer any questions if you have.
Please don't be shy to speak up or to drop the message in the chat.
Everything I said has already been said maybe 100 and more times, but uh, the basic principle of life and the basic principle of human being are always the same. So the same principle applies everywhere.
Raj, while we're waiting for hopefully some student questions, I have a question for you.
Please do.
Which city around the world do you think is dealing with this the best way? Which city has got the smartest technology?
Uh, I mean, I would answer that in a different way. I don't know which has the smartest technology, but the smartest way. There are a couple of cities that have managed the smartest way. And if you look into US, I mean, Las Vegas is coming, is doing really well as well. Of course, Singapore is a very fine city. They are doing really well in managing the water resources, right? Uh, and then I always go back. If you want to go look into the technologies, Israelis are really, really good into coming up with great water technologies because of the scarcity of the water and things like that. So the technology wise, they are really ahead. But in terms of overall management of the project as a project, I would definitely look into Singapore and also Las Vegas. And I recently heard, I could be wrong, the Abu Dhabi Tower, what is called the Khalifa Tower, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the Khalifa Tower? I've heard that they are managing their water really, really efficiently, and I need to know more details about it. But I think we might not have to go very far to know what they are doing it into managing their water effectively as well. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
No, thank you.
Because at the end of the day, it's about repurposing it and then
Mm.
repurposing it into the most cost-effective way, uh, in the most sustainable way. When I say sustainable, both in terms of environment and cost and human labor and everything, right? So that's where it boils down to. In terms of technology, in the last 50 years, in the water treatment industry, and then the water treatment professionals might hate me for saying this, there has not been any revolutionizing technology in the water industry. All we
Mm.
have done is added bells and whistles. Okay, we have added automation to it. We have made slight modification here and there, but the core technologies are still the same. We have not, I mean, nobody has come up with the game-changing disruptive technology in the water side. Uh, some of the technology that we are seeing has been there for a long, long time. We are just polishing it a little bit, adding more automation, packaging it in a different way, and adding bells and whistles. That's what we are doing. So.
Yeah, it's interesting, until there's it's like many of these things, until you until you personally confront the problem, people don't really process the importance that water has. I mean, I'm from Cape Town, and a couple of years ago, there was a major drought. I mean, Cape Town almost literally ran out of water. And it was amazing to see how the province handled things and how people handled it. Luckily now the dams are all full, after the winter, but it was really interesting to see people's reactions.
That's very true. And this is what I tell people, because we take water for granted. I showed you that water bill and I was whining about it. That's less than $200 a month. Okay. If we think about it, maybe me and my wife spend more money drinking Starbucks coffee every time we go to work in a month than that, right? But we don't complain about it. And I tell people, if suddenly we lose internet for a week, of course, many people will go crazy, but hardly anybody will die. And I tell, if our water, like if we stop getting water in our house for 2 days, forget about a week, there will be a major catastrophe. Every time there is a natural disaster, let's say out here, the first thing people go to the store is to buy water. Right? But still, we don't want to pay for it. We are happy to pay $5, $7 at the airport for a 500 ml of water, because we know how important it is, but only at the airport. We don't. So you're absolutely right about the taking water as a granted, and why this is the only thing I don't think will be ever replaceable by anything. I tell people, even with food, we might end up eating pills that will give us enough calories to get it going. But I don't think there will be a pill for water. We still need to drink water. So I think our students are pretty, with all the sessions ongoing, they're pretty packed right now that their brain might have already frozen. So we might have to give them some time to process and work on their presentation and ideas. But I do want to thank you all for taking your time and listening it, and then also inviting me to this event. And as I said, I'm happy to help any way further right now, and for any future events, let me know however way I can be part of your initiative.
Thank you very much,
Raj.
Raj.
Really, sorry, Sandy, you.
Please, Anthony, go ahead.
No. I was just going to say again, thank you so much for presenting this. It was really interesting, and we must certainly stay in touch.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And as we've done with the previous sessions, we will be uploading this one as well under the resources tab under the water sector. And thank you everyone for being here. Thank you, Raj, once more for the presentation. And if there are any other questions that come to your mind, please drop us a message and we will forward them to Raj.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
And have a nice day.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you.